What if the greatest opportunity in your life has been with you all along, but you never noticed it? Most people spend their lives searching for something better, while life quietly passes in front of them. They believe happiness is waiting somewhere ahead, just beyond the next goal they want to reach. They tell themselves one simple sentence: "I'll be happy when everything becomes easier. A better job. A bigger house. More money. More free time. Then life will finally begin." But life never waits. Imagine a young businessman working 12 hours every day, believing success will solve every problem in his life. He promises his family more time tomorrow, because today feels too important to slow down. Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next year, and nothing really changes. One evening, his little son stops asking him to play, because children also learn when people are too busy. The father finally has everything he wanted, but he quietly lost something he can never buy again. His son grew up. Time moved forward. Life never stopped. Have you ever been so busy chasing tomorrow, that you forgot to enjoy today? Many people answer yes, because they have lived that story without even noticing it. The strange truth is simple: the future always looks brighter when your mind refuses to enjoy the present. That is why so many successful people still feel empty, because success cannot replace peace. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy another Saturday with your family. Success can open many doors, but it cannot bring yesterday back. Think about your own life. How many beautiful moments disappeared, because your mind was somewhere else? How many conversations ended, before you truly listened? How many sunsets became ordinary, because you were looking at your phone? Maybe the greatest problem is not your life. Maybe the greatest problem is your attention. Today, we begin a different journey. We will not chase tomorrow, because tomorrow has never promised anyone happiness. Instead, we will discover something many people spend their whole lives searching for. The only moment you truly own. This moment. Right now. If these stories help your English grow, and your heart becomes a little stronger, subscribe to the channel and join our journey. Every new book will teach simple English, while sharing timeless lessons you can carry through life. Now, let's begin our first lesson. Lesson 1: The life you keep missing. Every person receives the same 24 hours, but not everyone truly lives them. Some people fill their days with meaning, while others fill them with endless worry. The difference is not money, education, or luck. The difference is attention. Imagine two friends walking through a beautiful park on a warm afternoon. The first friend notices the green trees, the fresh air, and children laughing nearby. The second friend keeps checking his phone, reading emails that can easily wait. Both walked the same path, but only one remembers the experience. Life works exactly the same way, because your attention decides what becomes a memory. Have you ever finished a vacation, wondering where all the days disappeared? Have you ever arrived home, unable to remember most of your journey? Your body was present, but your mind was somewhere else. This happens more often than people realize, because the mind enjoys traveling through time. It returns to yesterday, searching for answers that no longer matter. Then it rushes toward tomorrow, looking for certainty that does not exist. Meanwhile, today quietly disappears. A young student once dreamed about graduating from university, believing that day would change everything. For 4 years, he counted every exam, every assignment, and every difficult night. Graduation finally arrived, and the celebration lasted only a few hours. The next morning, his mind found another destination. Now he needed the perfect job. Years later, he found the job he always wanted, but happiness stayed only a short time. Soon another dream appeared. A bigger house. A better salary. A more successful future. His goals kept changing, because his mind never learned to stop running. Does this sound familiar? Many people spend their whole lives arriving somewhere, without ever feeling they have arrived. There is nothing wrong with having dreams, because dreams give life direction. The problem begins when today's happiness depends on tomorrow's success. Think about a child building a sandcastle beside the sea. The child laughs while building it, because the joy lives inside the moment. An adult often forgets this simple lesson, because the result becomes more important than the journey. What if success was never the real destination? What if learning, growing, and living were always the greatest rewards? Life becomes lighter, when you stop carrying tomorrow on your shoulders. Peace grows stronger, when you give your full attention to this moment. Today is not standing in your way, it is quietly offering another chance. The question is simple. Will you notice it? Or will your mind be somewhere else again? Take this lesson with you today, and notice one beautiful moment you usually ignore. You may discover something surprising, because life has been waiting for your attention all along. Lesson 2. The voice that never sleeps. Every person carries an invisible companion, a quiet voice that never stops talking. Sometimes it offers good advice, but sometimes it creates problems that never existed. The difficult part is simple, because that voice sounds exactly like you. Imagine waking up on an ordinary Monday morning, already feeling tired before your feet touch the floor. Nothing bad has happened yet, but your mind has already written the story. This day will be difficult. Something will probably go wrong. I am already behind. The day has not even started, but your thoughts have already chosen its direction. Have you noticed how one negative thought quickly invites another one? A small worry becomes a bigger worry, because your mind keeps feeding the same idea. Soon you are no longer thinking, you are simply repeating old fears. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack every single day, adding one small stone every morning. One stone feels harmless, because it weighs almost nothing. After 1 year, the backpack becomes almost impossible to carry. Negative thoughts work the same way, because they grow through repetition. Many people believe every thought they hear, simply because the voice sounds familiar. But not every thought deserves your attention. A cloudy day does not mean the sun has disappeared, it only means you cannot see it. Your mind works the same way, because difficult thoughts often hide the truth. Think about a young woman preparing for an important interview. She studies for weeks, learning everything she needs to know. The night before the interview, one thought quietly enters her mind. What if I fail? Another thought quickly follows. What if everyone is better than me? Soon she forgets every hour she spent preparing, because fear speaks louder than confidence. The interview has not even started, but she already feels defeated. How many opportunities disappear before they even begin? Not because people lack talent, but because they believe every fearful thought. Strong people are not free from fear, they simply refuse to obey every voice inside their minds. They stop for a moment, then ask one simple question. Is this thought helping me, or holding me back? That question changes everything, because fear becomes weaker when somebody challenges it. Your mind can become your greatest friend, or your greatest obstacle. The choice begins with one simple habit, learning which thoughts deserve your trust. You cannot stop every thought from appearing, but you can decide which thoughts deserve to stay. Peace does not arrive when your mind becomes silent, it begins when you stop believing every story it tells. The next time fear speaks, listen carefully before you agree. You may discover it was only a frightened voice, not the truth. Tomorrow's confidence begins with today's awareness, because every peaceful mind was once a noisy one. Lesson 3. The weight of yesterday. Some memories become teachers, while others quietly become heavy chains. The past can guide your future, but it should never become your home. Many people keep opening old doors, hoping the ending will somehow change. They remember one mistake, one failure, or one painful conversation for years. The event lasted only a few minutes, but the memory shaped many future decisions. Imagine a young boy learning to ride his bicycle for the first time. He falls to the ground, and everyone hears him cry. His father smiles gently, then helps him stand again. The father never says, "You failed." He says, "Try one more time." The boy rides again. He falls again. Then something wonderful happens. He finally finds his balance, because every fall taught him something new. Now imagine the same boy 20 years later. He makes one mistake at work, and suddenly he believes he is not good enough. What changed? The mistake was not bigger. His thinking became heavier. Children recover quickly, because they rarely carry yesterday into tomorrow. Adults often carry old memories everywhere, making every new step feel more difficult. Have you ever noticed how one bad experience can steal your confidence? One broken friendship can make you fear trusting again. One failed business can stop someone from trying another dream. One difficult exam can convince a student to give up completely. The mistake is never the real prison, because the prison is often the meaning we give it. Imagine writing one sentence on a clean piece of paper. Then imagine reading that same sentence every morning for 10 years. Soon it begins to feel true, even if it was never true at all. Your mind works the same way, because repeated thoughts slowly become personal beliefs. But every belief can be questioned. Every story can be rewritten. Every ending can become a new beginning. Think about your favorite movie. The most difficult scene is never the final one, because the story still has more pages. Your life is no different. Today is another page, not the final chapter. Yesterday has already finished speaking, but today is still waiting for your answer. Ask yourself one honest question. What memory have I carried for too long? Does it still help me grow, or does it quietly hold me back? Sometimes the strongest people are not those who remember everything. Sometimes they are the people who finally choose to let go. The past gave you lessons, but it does not deserve your future. Walk forward with wisdom, not with unnecessary weight. Your next step may become the beginning of a completely different life. Lesson 4. The Tomorrow Trap. Tomorrow sounds beautiful, because it always promises a better life. Many people trust tomorrow, while quietly ignoring the only day they truly have. They say they will begin tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next Monday. Next Monday becomes next month. Then another year quietly disappears. Imagine a man who dreams of learning English, believing one perfect day will finally arrive. He buys books. He watches videos. He saves useful lessons. But he keeps waiting for more free time. Months pass. His books remain closed, while his dream stays exactly where it started. One evening, he meets an old friend who speaks English with confidence. He asks one simple question. When did you become so fluent? His friend smiles. I wasn't waiting for the perfect day, I simply started with 15 minutes. That answer changes everything. Success rarely begins with a big decision, it usually begins with a small one. Many people believe motivation comes first, but action often arrives before motivation. Think about planting a small seed in your garden. The first morning looks exactly the same. The second morning changes nothing. The third morning feels no different. You might believe the seed is doing nothing. But something important is happening, even when your eyes cannot see it. Strong roots are growing beneath the ground, preparing for the day they finally appear. Your progress works the same way. The first lesson feels ordinary. The second lesson feels ordinary. The 10th lesson still feels ordinary. Then one day, someone notices your improvement before you do. Growth happens quietly, because real change never needs to announce itself. Have you ever stopped learning too early, believing nothing was changing? Most people quit just before the results begin to appear. Not because they are weak, but because they expect change to happen too quickly. Life follows a different rhythm. Small actions become powerful when they are repeated with patience. One page every day becomes many books. One walk every evening becomes better health. One new word every morning becomes confident English. The future does not arrive suddenly, it grows through ordinary days that seem unimportant. So ask yourself one honest question. What small action have I been postponing until tomorrow? Maybe tomorrow is not the answer. Maybe today has been waiting for your first step. You do not need a perfect beginning, because every great journey starts with an imperfect one. Choose one small action today, and let tomorrow thank you for it. Lesson 5. The price of attention. Imagine placing $100 on a table, then walking away without taking it. Most people would call that a terrible decision, because money is too valuable to waste. Now imagine wasting one whole hour every single day, without even noticing where it disappeared. That hour is worth far more than $100, because you can always earn money again. Time is different. Once it is gone, it never returns. Every morning, life gives you 24 fresh hours, the same gift given to every person on earth. Some people invest those hours carefully, while others spend them without thinking. The difference becomes visible only after many years. Imagine two young brothers starting their lives together, both dreaming about a successful future. The first brother spends 1 hour reading every evening, because he believes small improvements matter. The second brother spends that same hour scrolling through endless videos, believing 1 hour changes nothing. One day looks exactly the same. 1 week feels almost identical. Even 1 year shows very little difference. Then something unexpected begins to happen. The first brother speaks with more confidence, because he has filled his mind with useful ideas. The second brother wonders why life feels exactly the same, because he never noticed the power of small choices. Neither brother became successful overnight. One simply paid attention to his future, while the other paid attention to distractions. Life rarely changes through dramatic moments, because it usually changes through ordinary decisions. Every minute is like a small seed, growing into something you cannot immediately see. Plant good seeds every day, and your future becomes a beautiful garden. Plant nothing at all, and empty spaces quietly begin to grow. The choice looks small today, but its results become impossible to ignore tomorrow. Have you ever picked up your phone for 5 minutes, then discovered 30 minutes had disappeared? Have you ever opened one video, then forgotten why you picked up your phone? Attention is becoming one of the world's greatest treasures, because everyone wants a piece of it. Advertisements want your attention. Social media wants your attention. Bad news wants your attention. But very few people ask one important question. Where do I want my attention to go? That question can quietly change your entire life. Your attention becomes your habits, and your habits become your future. Protect your attention carefully, because it decides who you become. Spend more time building your dreams, and less time watching someone else's. One focused hour every day may seem ordinary, but ordinary actions often create extraordinary lives. Remember this simple truth. Where your attention goes, your life quietly follows. Lesson 6. The quiet power of small changes. Most people dream about changing their lives, but they rarely change their daily habits. They wait for a perfect opportunity, while small opportunities quietly pass them by. Imagine walking into a large forest, where every tree began as a tiny seed. No tree appeared overnight, because nature has always trusted the power of time. Your life follows the same quiet rule, even when you cannot see the results. A young woman wanted to become healthier, but the goal felt too difficult to reach. She thought about running 5 miles every morning, but she never started. One day, she made a different decision, choosing a short walk after dinner instead. The walk lasted only 15 minutes, but she repeated it every evening. 1 month later, she felt stronger. 3 months later, she slept better. 1 year later, her life looked completely different, because one small habit became part of her identity. The habit looked ordinary, but its results became extraordinary. Many people ignore small changes, because they expect immediate success. They plant a seed today, then expect a tree tomorrow. Life has never worked that way, because lasting change always takes patience. Think about learning a new language. One lesson feels too small to matter. One conversation may seem unimportant. One new word feels easy to forget. Then something beautiful happens. 100 lessons become confidence. Hundreds of conversations become fluency. Thousands of words become another way of thinking. The small steps were never the problem, because people simply underestimated their power. Have you ever noticed how quickly bad habits grow? Missing one workout feels harmless. Skipping one lesson seems unimportant. Wasting one evening looks completely normal. The problem is never one decision, because every decision quietly invites another one. Good habits work exactly the same way. One good choice encourages another good choice, until the difficult becomes natural. Your future is never built in one dramatic moment, because it grows through ordinary days. Every small promise you keep builds trust with yourself. Every promise you break slowly weakens that trust. The person you become depends on the promises you choose to keep. Success is not created by one perfect day, because perfect days rarely exist. Success grows through imperfect days, where you decide to continue anyway. Ask yourself one simple question. What small habit could improve my life, if I repeated it every day? Do not search for the biggest change. Search for the smallest action you can repeat tomorrow. One page. One walk. One lesson. One kind decision. Small actions look ordinary today, but they quietly create extraordinary futures. Never underestimate today's small step, because tomorrow is already growing inside it. Lesson 7. The person you are becoming. Every choice shapes your future, even when the change feels too small to notice. Most people focus on their results, while successful people focus on who they are becoming. Imagine a sculptor standing before a large block of stone, holding nothing but a simple hammer. One small strike changes almost nothing, because the stone still looks exactly the same. He strikes it again. Then again. Then hundreds of times more. People passing by see only a block of stone, because the real change is still hidden. One morning, the sculpture finally appears. Everyone calls it a masterpiece, but nobody remembers the thousands of quiet strikes. Your life grows in exactly the same way, because every small decision leaves an invisible mark. You may not notice today's effort, but your future certainly will. Imagine a young teacher who decides to read 10 pages every evening, even after a long day at work. 10 pages feel unimportant, because anyone can read 10 pages. 1 week passes. Then 1 month. Then 1 year. Her students begin asking more questions, because her knowledge quietly becomes deeper. She speaks with greater confidence, because learning has become part of her daily life. People admire her success, but they never saw the ordinary evenings that created it. Success often looks like magic, because people only notice the final result. The quiet work always happens long before anyone begins to clap. Have you ever admired someone, without knowing what they sacrificed to reach that place? Most people compare their beginning to someone else's ending, creating an unfair story inside their minds. They forget that every expert was once a beginner, standing exactly where they stand today. You are becoming someone every single day, whether you notice it or not. The only real question is simple. Who are you becoming? Are your daily choices moving you toward that person, or quietly leading you somewhere else? Think about a river flowing through a valley, slowly shaping the rocks beside it. The water never pushes with great force, but it never stops moving. Years later, the rocks have completely changed. Consistency is powerful, because it never asks for permission. It simply continues. Your habits shape your character, while your character shapes your future. One honest decision today becomes another tomorrow, until honesty becomes part of your identity. One act of kindness becomes another, until kindness feels completely natural. The same truth works in the opposite direction. Every excuse becomes easier, when you repeat it often enough. Every delay feels more comfortable, until waiting becomes a habit. That is why today's choices matter so much, because they quietly introduce you to tomorrow's self. Become the kind of person who keeps small promises, because great achievements begin with ordinary discipline. Do not ask whether today's effort will change your life. Ask who today's effort is helping you become. One day, you will meet that person. Make sure you are proud of the introduction. Lesson 8. The freedom of letting go. Some things deserve your attention, while others quietly steal your peace. Many people carry invisible burdens, believing they must hold everything forever. Old mistakes. Old arguments. Old disappointments. They become heavy, because nobody taught us when to let them go. Imagine holding a glass of water in your hand, because someone asked you to keep it safe. The glass feels light during the first minute, and you hardly notice its weight. After 1 hour, your arm begins to hurt, even though the glass has not changed. After several hours, the pain becomes almost unbearable. The problem was never the glass, because the problem was holding it too long. Life works the same way. A painful memory may last only a few moments, but carrying it for years changes everything. Have you ever replayed the same conversation again and again, wishing you had chosen different words? Have you ever apologized to yourself, while secretly hoping the past would disappear? The past cannot hear your apologies, because it no longer exists. Only you can hear them. Imagine a woman who lost an important opportunity many years ago. She believed that single moment decided her entire future. Whenever a new opportunity appeared, she remembered the old disappointment instead. She stopped applying. She stopped believing. She stopped trying. Not because she lacked ability, but because one old memory quietly controlled every new decision. Years later, she met an older neighbor who had started a successful business after retiring. She asked him one simple question. "Weren't you afraid to begin again?" He smiled gently. "Of course I was, but I was more afraid of staying the same." That answer stayed with her for weeks. She finally understood something important. The greatest risk was never failing again, the greatest risk was never trying again. Many people wait until fear disappears before taking action. Fear rarely leaves first. Action usually opens the door. Think about learning to swim. Reading about swimming helps. Watching videos helps. Listening to advice helps. But the real lesson begins when your feet finally touch the water. Life rewards movement, because movement creates experience. Experience creates confidence. Confidence creates courage. Everything begins with one small decision. Letting go does not mean forgetting, because every experience still has something valuable to teach. Letting go means refusing to let yesterday control today's choices. You can remember the lesson, without carrying the pain. You can respect the past, without living inside it. Ask yourself one honest question. What have I been carrying, that no longer belongs in my future? Maybe today is the right moment to put it down. Your hands become stronger when they stop holding unnecessary weight. Your heart becomes lighter when it makes room for new beginnings. The future always feels brighter when the past no longer decides your direction. Lesson 9. The peace you have been looking for. Most people spend years searching for peace, while carrying everything that steals it. They believe peace is a destination, but it is often a decision. Imagine a woman sitting beside a quiet lake, watching the water move without making a sound. The lake reflects the blue sky, because nothing is disturbing its surface. Then someone throws a small stone into the water. The reflection disappears. The water becomes restless. A few minutes later, everything becomes calm again. Your mind works the same way, because every worry creates another small wave. The problem is not the first thought, because every mind produces thoughts. The problem begins when one thought invites 10 more. Have you ever worried about something that never happened? Have you ever imagined the worst possible ending, only to discover everything was completely fine? Your mind tries to protect you, but sometimes it protects you from things that do not exist. Imagine a young doctor waiting for an important phone call. Every minute feels longer than the last one. He imagines bad news. He imagines failure. He imagines disappointment. Hours later, the phone finally rings. The news is good. Nothing he feared actually happened. He spent the whole afternoon suffering, because his imagination felt more real than reality. How often do we do the same thing? We fight battles inside our minds, before life gives us a reason to fight. Peace begins when you notice this habit, because awareness changes everything. You do not need to chase every thought, just because it enters your mind. Some thoughts deserve your attention. Others deserve your silence. Think about the sky after a storm. Dark clouds slowly disappear, while the sun patiently waits behind them. The sky never fights the clouds, because it knows they will pass. Your mind can learn the same quiet wisdom. Every feeling changes. Every difficult moment passes. Every storm eventually becomes another memory. Ask yourself one simple question. Will this problem still matter 5 years from now? Many worries disappear the moment you ask that question. Life becomes lighter when you stop carrying problems that have not even arrived. Real peace is not the absence of problems, it is the ability to face them with a calm mind. You cannot control every situation, but you can control the way you respond. That choice becomes your greatest strength. The world may remain noisy, but your heart does not have to follow it. Protect your peace carefully, because it is one of the greatest gifts you will ever own. Lesson 10. The only moment you own. You have traveled through every lesson, but one question still remains. What truly belongs to you? Your past does not belong to you anymore, because it has already written its final page. Your future does not belong to you yet, because it has not arrived. Only this moment belongs to you, and it quietly asks one simple question. What will you do with me? Imagine an old man sitting beside his window, watching children play outside. He smiles gently, because their laughter reminds him of his own childhood. He remembers his dreams. He remembers his mistakes. He remembers the people he loved. Then he whispers something that changes everything. I wish I had worried less, and lived more. His words were simple, but they carried the weight of an entire lifetime. Many people spend years preparing for life, while forgetting to actually live it. They work harder. They earn more. They achieve bigger goals. Yet something still feels missing. Not because they failed. Because they forgot to enjoy the journey. Think about your favorite song. Would you skip every verse, just to hear the final note? Of course not. The beauty lives inside every part of the music, not only the ending. Life follows the same quiet truth. Every ordinary morning matters. Every conversation matters. Every shared meal matters. Every laugh matters. One day, these ordinary moments become your greatest memories. Nobody reaches the end of life wishing they had answered more emails. Nobody wishes they had spent more time worrying. People remember the moments that made them feel alive. The walk with a friend. The hug from a parent. The smile of a child. The sunrise they almost missed. Those moments never asked for perfection, they only asked for your attention. Ask yourself one final question. If today became a memory forever, would it be worth remembering? If the answer is no, you still have time. This moment is giving you another chance. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Today. Choose to notice the people around you. Choose to protect your peace. Choose to forgive yourself. Choose to begin, even if your first step feels small. Because one small step always defeats standing still. Years from now, your future self will remember today's decisions. Make sure those memories are filled with courage, not regret. The beautiful life you are searching for may already be here, waiting for you to finally notice it. Never forget this truth. The past can teach you. The future can inspire you. But only this moment can change you. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. If this book helped you improve your English, while giving you something meaningful to think about, subscribe to the channel and join our community. A new motivational audiobook is waiting for you, and every new story will help you become a stronger English speaker. Until our next journey, take care of your mind. Protect your peace. And remember, the only moment you truly own is this one. Your journey begins today. Every book has an ending, but every lesson continues through the way you choose to live. You have listened to these words, but listening alone will never change your life. Understanding is important, but action changes everything. Tomorrow morning, you will wake up as usual, and life will look almost the same. The same room. The same responsibilities. The same people. But one thing can become completely different. The way you see this day. Maybe you will notice the sunrise before checking your phone. Maybe you will enjoy one quiet conversation without looking at a screen. Maybe you will forgive yourself for one old mistake. Maybe you will finally begin the dream you kept postponing. Small moments create meaningful lives, because every great journey begins with an ordinary day. Remember the stories from this book. The father who waited too long. The student who kept moving forward. The woman who built a new habit. The old man who wished he had worried less. They all discovered the same truth. Life was never asking them to become perfect. Life was simply asking them to be present. You now have the same choice. Do not wait for a better season. Do not wait for more confidence. Do not wait until fear disappears. Begin with what you have. Begin where you are. Begin today. One day, you will look back at this moment, and you may realize something surprising. This was the day everything quietly began. Thank you for spending this time with me. I truly hope these lessons helped you improve your English, while giving you a new way to look at life. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe to the channel and become part of our growing community. Every new audiobook will help you build stronger English, one story at a time. If one lesson touched your heart, write it in the comments. I would love to know which idea stayed with you the most. Share this book with someone who needs a little hope today. Our next journey is already waiting. Until then, take care of yourself. Keep learning. Keep growing. And never forget. The life you are searching for may already be waiting inside this very moment.